What do we have here? You may kiss my boots.
I'm telling you, man, the society that had an agenda to create the perfect environment to cultivate degeneracy in modern times fully succeeded, bro.
It always comes back to the man. Where it's like, if you have a weak man, it's going to breed a weak woman.
I feel like society alters a woman's mind and psychology, right, through programming. And that affects her biology, bro. And they do the same thing with men. And you're left with a bunch of women that have unrealistic expectations of men. And you're left with a bunch of men that would rather have fantasies and be financially dominated by women on OnlyFans or the men that you saw in the video instead of just being with a real person.
It's pretty obvious that this is the case, that it's just the far left agendas to feminize men, emasculate men, and create a world where men are weak and submissive. Because at the end of the day, the world has descended into tyranny. And when you've got tyrannical governments, tyrannical agendas that are running the world, the very first thing you do is you break down men and you break down masculinity and you stop the people from revolting. And so this is what's happened. And this has been a thing since the 1970s when feminism started. And not to say that women shouldn't have rights, because of course they should, just as many rights as men. And that's not the issue. The issue is that feminism has gone from women's rights all the way over to let's just hate men and emasculate men and castrate them wherever possible. That's where it's gone.
So here are things that men need to keep an eye out for while they're dating, no matter what the size of your wallet or your fantasies or desires. Disregard these things at your hazard in light of the fact that very much like all the great men of antiquity, the Holy Book and in the past, a lady can either help, but frequently, a terrible lady can toss a man totally in a tumult. Number 1, she needs to be courted. Okay, she needs to be sought. I know there are some guys are probably thinking, hello, you sort of talk like a traditional man. What's up with her needing to be sought? Nothing in the event that she's genuinely a customary lady. But normally, ladies need to be sought on the grounds that they need every one of the advantages of traditional gentility and gender roles, yet they offer no part of that stuff of real value. This is simply one more approach to asking you to simp. Not many westernized ladies deserve to be courted. I say it once more, not very many westernized ladies deserve to be courted. You women battled for equality, you're my equal. You needed equivalent compensation, you needed equivalent rights. Well, you need to get equivalent lefts. You desire to be courted. That won't happen. We are equals. Manage it. Thank feminists one-on-one, your mothers and your grandmoms. This is the world. Women, assuming you're watching, comprehend. This is what men are watching out for, so assuming you're requesting that some person court you, what are you offering that might be of some value other than intimacy and debt? Number 2, she has a 90-day rule, or any sort of rule like this as we would see it. Whenever I first hear a lady say she has a 90-day rule, I'm out. Whenever I first hear a lady discuss this standard or some other sort of aside that way, I'm out. Very much like the US had a policy, you don't negotiate with bad guys, ladies can be emotional bad guys. I don't haggle with them because in such a case that you give a mouse a cookie, it'll request for a glass of milk. In the event that she has a 90-day rule, that consequently suggests to me that she thinks she is gold, something so critical that I need to work, endeavor, and procure for. I don't work that hard for anything that doesn't help me. She isn't it because, supposing that you have these 90-day rules, go out and fault every one of these Steve Harvey-type folks who told you this foolishness. That is man-repellent rule on the very first day. In the other 89 days, it'll be you playing with your feline without anyone else. Number 3, she's a single parent. I won't boycott single parents or any such thing, but the primary concern is there used to be a point at which a lady had a child outside of a stable family structure. It was rare. There was some disgrace that accompanied it enough to where they didn't continue onward out and doing it again and again. Today, it's a praiseworthy symbol. You as a man are worth to an extreme and excessively significant. In the event that you have your head on straight, you're out doing your thing, working your business, dealing with your business, you ought not be compelled to pick from a pool of ladies who've previously had another man's kids. You should not have to go out, battle the world, form such, etc. to return home to a lady that you will, at best case scenario, be the 4th or 5th most significant thing in her life. You merit better compared to that. I'm sorry, women, assuming you've had a baby, that is your obligation. Omit and taking everything into account. Avoid the dating scene until your children are out of the house. You went with the decision to have those kids, particularly on the off chance that you did it beyond the bounds of marriage. You pursued that decision, then you go with the decision to wear that red letter. It's not our concern, it's yours. Men, don't date single parents, do it despite the obvious danger. Number 4, she's a strong independent fill-in-the-blank woman. You have 3 times to say that I'm strong independent blank woman, I'm a strong independent blank woman, I'm a strong independent. Check please, I'm gone. Whenever that emerges from their mouth, non-debatable in the sentence, whether it's day 1 or day 300 on the grounds, that is a basic issue that is standing by to burst through. A woman who needs to say I'm a strong independent anything is none of the things she says. It's very much like when you end up going into your home saying I'm the man of this house. In the event that you need to say you're the man in charge, there's an issue. In the event that you watch Game of Thrones, when Joffrey says, I'm the king in Tywin, tells him any man who needs to say he's the ruler isn't the ruler. Strong independent blank anything needs to be strong independent and alone. Number 5, she accepts that people are equal. We're not equal. No male and female of any species in the world are equal. We are different, as it should be. I won't negotiate your role in my role. If you come into this platitude that we're equal, we're consequently in constant conflict, since you're not a lady as I would see it. You're a female. I don't date females, I date ladies. Very much like the men will hear what I'm talking about, the guys will presumably toss slashed at you. If you meet a lady that you're equal to, you're truly surrendering your masculinity, and I can't help you. For the folks out there who are attempting to hear me, equality is not what is cracked up to be. Regularly, ladies want equality when it benefits them, and they need to be women when it suits them. I lack the capacity to deal with all the back and forth ways because I'm attempting to do what I'm doing. I'm guiding, she will follow. There can't be 2 commanders, pick your problem. If you pick equity, you'll end in some horrible, malnourished way. Number 6, she's a hotshot church young lady. I'm a Christian, I was brought up in the congregation. I go to routinely, yet big-time church young ladies will quite often accompany big-time church issues. There's no more fraud in dating than in the church on the grounds that unless she's a big-deal church young lady and a virgin, you're as of now going to have issues. As a rule, big-time church young ladies attempt to involve the Holy Book as a weapon against the men that they date. To consider you scripturally responsible for all that says a man ought to be, however, yet not consider themselves scripturally, ethically, or morally responsible to whatever that it says a lady ought to be. They will generally take sacred writings wrong, utilize scriptural stories for their own narrow-minded and manipulative finishes, and hit you in a spot to where you truly can't protect your otherworldliness. That is the level of manipulative, tricky, terrible way of behaving. I don't move with big-time church holy rollers for these essential reasons. On the off chance that it doesn't exactly measure up for you, continue on. Number 7, she has heaps of single girlfriends. You ever seen a bunch of creatures meandering an area? There's consistently a leading creature and the ones that follow. It's all a bad situation. It's a game. Single ladies who spend time with other single ladies lounge around and discuss single lady stuff, and it's regularly a great deal about men slamming on the grounds that very much like most ladies. Whenever they break up, it's never their shortcoming, they never take responsibility. Everybody they said a final farewell to is a bad person. So assuming you begin dating this lady who's spending time with a ton of single young ladies, she will return to her companions and all that happens great here, you will get sabotaged. She has a great deal of single lady friends that she spends time with, harmony, 2 fingers. You can't win in view of their solidarity in numbers, and female stupidity is at an unequaled high, and we don't have to manage it. Keep away from ladies that got a great deal of single companions. Something else is ladies who have a ton of single companions don't normally spend time with ladies who are in relationships or hitched in light of the fact that they personally don't have the foggiest idea how to be. They know single, let them stay single. Number 8, she comes from a long queue of single parents, aunties, and cousins. My ex-wife hit this to the mole. I love that lady, she was fine as frog's hair. However, when I went to her family, 13 of the most gorgeous ladies I have found in one family. 11 of them were single, and I got to know why. Because they all had that same strong, independent blank woman straight. They all had that quintessential attitude, dysfunctional group of harpies at any point I met them. Decent enough individuals when you meet them one-on-one, yet assuming that you have a long queue of single parents, aunties, and cousins, you have generational curses, issues, and things in that family. It will raise its head eventually, and you would rather not be near. One way or another, the drawback is this lady regularly has great intimacy game. In this way, think with your huge head, not with your little one. Take a gander at the chips on the board and change in like manner. Don't allow yourself to get sucked in. Pose a few inquiries, sort out what her day-to-day life is like, her family ancestry. You're interviewing her for a job inside the organization of you. From lifetime to college to secondary school to middle school to rudimentary each and every boyfriend or guy that dated along the line, there was always something wrong with the men. Folks, move away from this briefly. Ask yourself, the main shared factor in every last bit of her relationships was her. In the event that there's dependably or some kind of problem with everybody, and it's not her, it's going to be you in a minute. Keep away from this sort of ladies no matter what, because all she knows is the means by which to separate. All she knows is generally how to be in a useless relationship. You won't come in and fix her. You won't come in and save her. Save yourself. Keep away from her front and center.